The second game of this best of two between x6tence and Nova. And I know that we've said about x6tence having really good team fights, but they need a draft towards it. Do you feel like they, aside from Toro, who hasn't been banned out yet, I'm just saying, aside from Toro, do you feel like there were other mistakes there?
I wasn't a big fan of the Varus, and neither was Jauki.
Yes.
So maybe they need to draft something he's able to make a little bit more of an impact on. Typically, when you're building towards a teamfight composition, you look for a lot of stun, you look for a lot of grouped AoE damage, because you can group people together with the stuns and then punish them as a team.
Now, Elsu is available and in, not hanging around.
Yeah, I like this draft so far by x6tence. They switched it up. They're able to get now the Elsu as a first pick. So does this mean Varus and Tulin, or not, sorry, not Tulin, Varus and potentially like Baldum picked up by Nova here? I wonder who are they going to prioritize for the side lane for Mr. Breaker.
Why do you feel like x6tence decided to ban out Sephira? Because of course they're going to get the first pick, so they were forcing one through. Is it they wanted Elsu instead?
Yeah, I think they wanted Elsu instead here and not have the Sephora, so they followed the same routine, banning the Tulin away from Poseidon, who's really strong. And honestly, Nova is going to draft the same thing because you know what? Their last draft worked, so why change something that worked?
The net hovered here would shatter me. Minus a Tora.
Well, before we get to that, Teamy and Richter are the picks for Nova.
But if you're going to run Toro side lane, I just thought about this, TJ. Why not run Baldum side lane?
Let me answer
Baldum
that
side
for
lane.
you.
I
understand why you feel this way. Because you're thinking in your head that Baldum is objectively a better character than Toro. And you're not wrong. But why would you want to play a tree man when you could play a giant bull?
There's a different meta emerging here, which is that we feel that one with the characters and we feel how they are represented in the world.
Toro is a lot of fun because everything he does is a little bit annoying.
Yeah, he's the most annoying. He's a very annoying tank player if played correctly here.
There's been a lot of hover here for Nova Esports, cycling through basically every assassin in the video game.
Not Quillen yet.
This butterfly would be a little bit weird,
Irene.
but it may be that Vex just wants to fool around because they've already locked in all the placing, and so he wants to maybe pull out something that hasn't been seen a whole bunch of. A last second swap. Vex showing off his mechanics just to lock in a
Vex
Murad.
Murad is literally art.
Oh, that's
It's beautiful how he plays Murad. He plays Murad very well.
He's actually got a painting of Vex with Murad on his wall at home.
I hear Murad has a painting of Vex.
That's a little bit creepy.
Well, okay.
It's Superman.
Superman!
That's a target ban against Clamaris down in the bot lane. Little do they know, he's going to play Toro, so it does not matter. x6tence ought to be considering getting rid of things Poseidon likes to play because they've already got Tulin and Sephira off the board. Reducing the rest of the mage pool is pretty easy.
There we go.
There you go. Yeah, that's the flash ban out. Poseidon's pick last game.
I like the Flash ban because honestly Poseidon made a big difference with Flash in the last game. He was always winning the mid lane matchup and rotating to support Vex's aggressive invades here. And the one thing that x6tence can do is as long as he can shut down Vex in the early game and not let Murad go to late game, then they have a glimmer of hope. But based on how last game turned out, we'll see.
Oh, I just realized this can't be a Toro because they've got Raz mid lane, which means it's going to be Elsu bot.
Yeah, most likely. They should pick the Elsu.
Toro top lane!
Oh no, we need this to stop. All right, let's see who's available.
Wisp, interesting. So they're cycling through and will eventually ban a side lane ADC from Coco.
Yeah,
Coco did play pretty well on the Telenaft last game, something we didn't really comment too much on.
Interesting build with the Death Sickle though, but other than that, the Telenaft did work out pretty well for them. I think what makes sense for Nova is Varus is open, but they can potentially not go for a Varus-Richter side lane duo and opt for potentially another ADC in that bot lane.
Yeah, wouldn't you put a marksman in for Coco right now?
Yeah, but a Rioma would work really well for Elsu against Elsu as well. So Rioma might be picked here instead of an ADC. They can try whips, potentially.
See, I thought Ryoma was possible. We saw Ryoma on Coco last week, and the last time these teams met. But Liliana is in.
Anti-dive on the support Aurum. That would actually have to be Slayer lane Aurum if it comes through, which is a little bit awkward. And jungle Wukong, something the EU players seem to think is a thing. We've seen a couple of it over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
I know you still have doubts.
It didn't work last week.
The build seems to be full crit damage, Rush Club Sancti. Hope for the best. No. Not a fan.
It's not coming. It's Ryoma.
I love
this. This is a crazy
I love the Ryoma pickup because that's honestly a good matchup into Elsu side lane is Ryoma. So I love that they picked up Ryoma and denied that pick from Coco. We know Coco actually has a very proficient Ryoma. He's very good on Ryoma. So now this forces him to potentially pick up Wisp or some other type of side laner. But I think Wisp might be a pick here for them into the Elsu matchup.
Well, Lindis hasn't gone, but they're not going to need Lindis.
Yeah, you could go Lindis. The major reason Lindis struggles traditionally into Elsu matchups is because Lindis wants to be able to utilize her mobility through bushes, and Elsu has the ability to peer through the bushes with the sentries.
Yeah.
So it's pretty easy for the Elsu to win just snipe-based against that. Whereas someone like a Talanas at least has the potential to land a little bit of poke.
Oh, and it's a Valheim that rounds it out.
I feel like the Valheim works early game, but only if you're able to get very, very aggressive in the early game, burn down towers, and really just shred the Elsu before it can get started. Yeah,
early and mid, but the thing is, Valheim will give that support with the Teeny, that double stun, to Murad, as well as Liliana. You know, that's triple stun there. So if they have those 3-4 rotations going on, Valheim will actually do a lot in the early to mid game for Nova, then it let Vex get to that late game build for Murad.
And I think that's kind of what Nova have to be looking towards, is being able to smash through the early game and mean that will put Vex up online for late game should they get there. Whereas Existence want to stall out, get to late game where their Annette, Elsu, Raz trio will be terrifying.
And that's the hope right there. It is that trio, but don't forget Aurum, Ryoma, right? Elsu, Annette, they're all pretty strong early game. So honestly, Existence can get some nice rotations and force early game fights for them to win because of that Aurum, Ryoma early game power.
So we've got Nova who are looking to show that their early game is solid, as they did in the last game and that we had doubted. And then you've got Existence needing to take this thing to late game.
Well, as I said at the beginning of the block, Existence's best hope is that they take team fights and then they keep taking team fights. Take a team fight into a team fight into a team fight. And if you can do that, then it almost doesn't matter what comes next because they will always be playing to their greatest strength and perpetuating a snowball.
And that's where you want to win against Murad. He's pretty weak in the early game, especially when it doesn't have his ultimate unlocked. And that is the perfect time to exert that pressure, to deny his jungle, invade him, shut him down, and then take key objectives like Dragon, the first tower, and so on. Existence needs to do this game, otherwise they're going to lose, because Murad on Vex late game, it's GG, man. GG.
Simple as that.
Pretty much.
Vex is back. Vex is ruling things for Nova again. Well, let's find out. Second game is upon us for Existence and Nova.
Second game, a second chance for Existence to get the last word of their Valor Series season on the board. Nova Esports, of course, heading to Sydney after this game. Perhaps looking to gather some momentum going into the LAN finals.
And I think that might be what they're aiming for. They can work on their timers, their rotations, which I've seen have improved so much here in just the last game. And now with Vex and Murad, I'm really interested to see how they're going to do their rotations and exert dominance on Dragon's side.
Coco has returned to Slayer side of the map, up top to play this Valheim. That's different than we thought. Breaker pulling out the Richter down in the bottom lane.
That's a very interesting point, TJ, you make there, because Richter normally always plays in the Dark Slayer lane and not the Dragon side. So maybe he's more comfortable into an Elsu matchup on this Richter potentially here. Or they want to ensure that they win this bot lane on Dragon side so that they can dominate the early Dragons.
I was going to say, I think it may be the opposite. The Valheim is very uncomfortable into the Elsu matchup.
Definitely, I can definitely see that because Elsu has more of that range and can poke the Valheim a lot more than the Valheim is able to poke him back.
Lumares won't be poking anyone for now. Breaker's just hiding in the bush, bouncing out, stealing a little bit of wave, going back. Nova are going to be rotating towards him. Grizzly Q baits out a full combo, eats it though. They're not able to find punish. Vex himself needs to run. Lots of Existence members chase him.
Yeah, don't forget, Vex is also level 4 here. He's running away, but he's going to hang around, stack on some minions, and use his opportunity to poke the enemy team.
Oko is being stalked. See Jiaoqi up there, and there's Vex's ultimate being dropped for fairly little effect this early on. That'll, of course, scale up for tons of damage late game.
Yeah, it did definitely scare Blue Triton off, though. It did take about a third of his HP, so he's going to retreat to their jungle, and Dragon will be left uncontested by both teams.
Normally, Nova are quite swift to take objectives they want during the early game. Existence, during their best moments, find very good answers. Lots of team fights early. We haven't seen too much of that.
Yeah, Blue Triton's got to be careful that he missed his Whirling Blade when he landed his passive. And Nova, looking for opportunity, they're going to take this Dragon.
Yeah, they see that full rotate. They send Grizzly Q to investigate the rotate back over. Will pick up the Abyssal. Grizzly Q might fall here, but he has the Resurrect, so they're not really worried about it. He'll even just manage to disengage, recall in the bush. Yeah,
really good job actually by Grizzly Q there. He's able to distract the X6 long enough for Nova to then secure the Dragon, and then didn't even drop a death. But he did use ultimate as a precaution though.
Very good showing from Nova Esports, sending Grizzly Q up to be that vision. Now Breaker's caught out though. Bamboo can't full combo him thanks to good use of retaliation. Now the rest of the team will come through. Vex leading the way. Another dimension stalled out. Great support play from x6tence.
Yeah, really good job there using that Hurricane Wall. If Vex got another hit there, it would have unlocked his ultimate Temporal Turbulence, and he would have been able to poke them down. But because of the Hurricane Wall, Vex had to then retreat. So far, not bad plays from x6tence.
Clemera's even got to poke that tower a little bit.
He indeed did. And Coco doing a good job as Valheim. He did get the Spirit Sentinel, so now he's ahead. And Blue Triton, like I mentioned earlier, that's the second Whirling Blade Stun that he's missed. So I think he should be more patient and make sure that his opponent has used specific abilities before using that Whirling Blade Stun, because that is a critical win condition of Ryoma. You have to land that Whirling Blade Stun.
That one, I think, a little bit more excusable because it was into the bush, but still certainly attacks you want to land. It would have been a guaranteed kill if he had.
Yeah, it would.
That one lands. Vex in trouble as a result. You can see the efficacy of it, but he dukes around Bamboo, diving into the backlines. Bamboo will eventually pick up the kill, but it's a 1-1 trade. Blue Triton falls simultaneously. Yeah, I love how both teams are so aggressive there. Vex gets caught out, 3-man drops onto him, and then the 3-man drop onto Blue Triton in return. Jiaoqi up top is being whittled away at by Coco. Not a whole lot of damage from Valheim, but certainly enough to make him not want to bathe in it for forever. Yeah, one thing I want to know, Bamboo is actually playing Raz phenomenally well in this game, and that's the player to look out for in this match, I feel. Every engage, if you notice, he has been on point and executing and dishing out so much damage with Raz's combos. x6tence is nearby this Abyssal Dragon. He's got Bamboo in the wings, and they desperately want to be able to pick it up. Blue Triton comes in with the Wailing Blade. Hurricane Wall's too late, but Grizzly Q's low. He gets the Resurrect off. They can't kill him. Blue Triton will chase, but in the meantime, Darkbreaker and Vex commit to the backline, and they've got so much damage. A double kill, it looks like, over to Vex. It's traded in answer as Clemers sits out to the sidelines, hammering in a response. x6tence have won out a team fight as 4 players fall for Nova. What a play there. Clemers coming in clutch and securing these kills, even after Vex got 2 kills on this Maraud play, and then Blue Triton doing a good job landing his combos and dishing out so much damage and turning this fight around after Nova took a Dragon. This is actually a very good trade for x6tence, and that's going to keep him in the game. Very well done. That's that x6tence team fighting we've been asking them to demonstrate for a while. Yeah, and I love their decision there. They saw Nova take the Dragon. They started to poke them down, dish out the damage. Even though Vex landed the punish to secure the Dragon, x6tence continued to be aggressive. Vex then comes back in the fight,
gets focused down, loses a ton of health, gets his ultimate off, getting 2 kills, but Clamaris is the one that rotates into the river and then helps them win and secure the positive trade from that team fight.
Minor spot of trouble, though. They didn't turn that team fight into anything.
Yeah, they didn't convert it into any objectives, unfortunately, and that is something that Existence will have to think about and make sure they try to do next time.
Breaker's jungle strike up top keeps him safe. 2 players still brawling there, but Vex joins him. That'll be a full-on fight up in the top lane as Breaker recommits to it. Blue Triton can't stand in this Mark of the Hunter. Jauki does land the snare, but it's too little, too late. Breaker survives, Vex turns the fight, and it's 2 kills to Nova.
Yeah, that snare should have landed a lot sooner in that fight there. It was basically a 2 versus 1. Jauki was on top of the bush, not contributing to the fight in any way, and then his ultimate comes out a little too late there, and that's why Nova clearly won that 2 versus 2.
x6tence lacked a little bit of damage on the Coco. More than has come out of Jauki for the last few engagements.
Yeah, you can see here, Vex is almost on par with Breaker. Breaker is leading the gold right now at 4.7k. What's also promising for Existence is Clamaris is at 4.9k on this Elsu, so he might be able to scale in his late game.
But he's only got Muramasa Fafnir's Talon. That's going to start hurting him in these individual fights. Has to land the snipes.
Oh.
Bamboo, you're so good!
Yeah, that was insane. And Grizzly, how did you survive that? What a great timing on his flicker. He has been using his ultimates defensively as well, which is not a good sign on the teamie. So I feel like Existence can potentially take advantage of that and basically abuse Grizzly Q for being out of position.
They have been certainly trying to, unable to convert that into enough kills, but they've scared him more than a few times.
The key is when that does happen, they have to take advantage. Like you said, Jay, they need to convert that into some pressure on the map. If teamie is that low, he uses ultimate like that, you have the advantage. As a team, group up, invade the jungle, or go for a key objective. And that's what Existence needs to start doing. Otherwise, they're not going to get positive trades, and they're not going to catch up to Nova.
As a whole, I think, as a team, they play a little too defensive. And that's something we've seen. You have Breaker called out. Ooh. Hurricane Wall, that was a nice combo. Their team fight synergy certainly not lacking. Up top, though, Jauki dueling Grizzly Q and Coco. That can't go their way. Grizzly Q will fall, but he's tanking the tower. That's so smart to keep their minion alive.
Yeah, and Existence is trading the bottom, which is a good sign here, and Clamaris is starting to take away with the gold and stay in the game. The key is Jauki, wrong person to snare. You need to snare Coco. If he snared Valheim, that would have been a different outcome, I feel, and he would have been able to save his tower. Because snaring Teamie's the tank. You don't snare the tank.
He did a flicker as well. I was a little disappointed. Siege Wave arrives in mid. That tower will fall. Existence want to be able to get back in the action, but they just have to watch their towers crumble.
Exactly. And for them to get back in the action here, they just lost 2 key towers. They're continuing to fall more and more behind. They need to leverage Jauki's snare. They have to combo with Bamboo and fight as a team and protect Clamaris. If they can do that in these team fights and then convert these kills, like you said, TJ, into more objectives, they can get back into this game. They have a chance.
The Enraged Abyssals just spawned. 2 teams are both waiting in bushes watching. Grizzly Q, the rest of Nova surge forward and they check the bush real quick. Find out where Existence are. And Blue Triton's deleted before it can respond.
What a good job by Grizzly Q. Landing the stun, giving the vision, face checking the bushes, and then Poseidon following up with a Binding Light stun as well. And that combo is too much for Blue Triton.
The Abyssal Dragon, enraged, should be picked up here by Nova. There's almost no chance of a steal. There's even another kill picked up. This now looks very scary, particularly for Clamaris, isolated alone in the bottom lane.
Yeah, this is very gloomy here. Vex has 3 tier 3 damage items already. This Murad is going to get out of control. Once he gets his 4th, he'll be able to single combo kill a lot of the carries on Existence side here. And this is going to be a tough game for Existence to make a comeback now. They lost their chance in the mid game. Now they're 10,000 gold behind TJ. And Coco just running away this game with Valor as well. He just got a kill on Bamboo there in the last team fight while they're taking Dragon.
He just fell Club Sanctity alongside Blitzblade. That's a little bit unusual, but will mean he's doing an awful lot of damage.
Yeah, he's also the most fed in the game. So Coco really showing up this game.
And Clemares' accuracy on those snipes has been going down as his team's hopes crumble. Does back up that wave clear though. Very well done to make sure they don't lose the high grounds yet.
Yeah, right now, Nova should be going for a Darkslayer right now. They have complete map pressure. All the waves are crashing into the high ground. Bottom lane, there's no pressure in bottom lane from Existence. This is their chance to get Darkslayer. It's a little late, but you know what? They're still going to be able to get it, so it's fine from them. But again, I look at the timers here, and the decision-making from the team could have been a little quicker.
They took an extra moment to clear out the enemy jungle. That could have meant, if Existence were an aggressive team, that they surged forward, checked Darkslayer, stole it away. As is, Bamboo will give them the first inkling right as it falls.
This is now their chance here. I wonder if they're going to push the Drake on the Dragon lane or the mid lane here. If I were them, the one that makes the most sense would be the Dragon lane because of the wave that is building up for the Drake to then help push with.
Oh, Clemares! Do that again.
Wow.
Very nicely done. They find the initial stun when Poseidon drops out of his more mobile Fox form right in front of 3 members of Existence.
Yeah, that is the hope. There is Clemares. Look at him. He has 9,000 plus gold. He has 3 tier down. He finished Finner's Tooth, which gives him so much attack damage. That's 200 attack damage. And then as soon as I talk about it, Vex also finishes as well.
What's Bamboo doing? Bamboo's just chilling in the mid bush. He'll now duel in, diving Coco, trying to do enough damage to finish up the kill. But Coco just turns the tables on him. Now the flicker forward. You can't 1v1 the most fed Valheim on the map.
Yeah, what an aggressive play by Bamboo there. And it cost him.
But Chickaton lands the Hurricane Wall, standing up and dropping Vex low. The wave clear is still here. You can see Clemares adding quite a lot to these team fights.
Coco does have the range on his Valor, but he can poke down that tower. They have a siege minion coming down.
Existence have just decided to hold the top tower, and hold it they will. Snare onto Coco. That is perfect, but they can't get the kill. Grizzly Q spends his ult, though. That being a Bro Resurrect won't be available. Poseidon dives in and finds massive damage, and the team fight's been cleaned up in the meantime. The rest of Nova poured through mid, with the Drake still standing, and it will be game number 2 and the final series of Nova's Valor Series regular season going in their favor.
Yeah, and they have not looked better with their rotations. Their early game looked solid, and then the combos, I loved it. Grizzly Q leading the way. He's not overextending, getting caught like he normally does. Poseidon, Vex, and Coco following up with these stuns and damage output together. And of course, we can't forget the dominance that Coco actually played in the Dark